They held her down like she was nothing. They laughed like it was funny. And when she gasped for air, they told her she didn't belong. It was the kind of summer day where the sun felt like it was showing off hot, golden, and merciless. Inside the gates of Westbridge Hills Country Pool, the air smelled like sunscreen and self-importance. You know the type, leather-skinned retirees, gold chains on dads who never worked a real day, and teens who thought the world owed them applause. That day, Nyla Thompson walked through the gate with a cousin's guest pass in hand and a quiet storm in her chest. She was 16, black, athletic, braided hair tied up tight like it meant something. She didn't talk much, didn't flash a smile, just walked in, calm, but alert like someone who'd already seen too much in her short life. And when she stepped in, the pool went silent. Conversations dropped. Eyes tracked her like heat-seeking missiles. One woman in a ridiculous sun hat pulled her daughter out of the water like Nyla was a disease. Whispered something. Nyla heard it. Loud enough to sting. Soft enough to deny. She kept walking, chin high, shoulders firm. By the diving boards, two boys leaned on the rails like they owned the place. Troy Whitman and Blake Carter, 17, white, sons of a judge and a real estate mogul, ripped, shirtless, dripping entitlement. They saw her and smirked. Troy nudged Blake. "Look who forgot this ain't the city pool." Blake snorted. "Brave or stupid?" Nyla didn't flinch, just slipped into the water like it belonged to her. And when she swam, she swam smooth, sharp, deliberate. Lifeguards turned their heads, some even smiled. But not everyone liked the sight of a black girl outshining the golden boys of Westbridge. Troy clenched his jaw. Blake cracked his knuckles. "This pool's got rules," Blake muttered. They dove in after her, not gracefully, loud, splashy. They didn't care about swimming. They came to chase. Nyla saw it coming, tried to pivot, too late. "Wrong lane, sweetheart," Troy hissed behind her ear. Blake splashed water in her face. "You lost." She tried to brush past them. They cut her off. And then two hands, sudden, brutal, pushed her under. The world went silent. Chlorine stung her eyes. Her legs kicked, arms flailed. But they were stronger, bigger, meaner. Above the water laughter, below it terror. When she finally burst through the surface, choking, coughing, gasping for a single breath, Troy shouted so everyone could hear, "You don't belong here." Silence. Even the lifeguards looked away. Nobody moved. Except one girl, Emily Saunders, 15, white, quiet, always on the sidelines. She had her phone out, hands shaking, face pale. She didn't say a word, just hit record. Meanwhile, Nyla stood dripping, rage and water running down her body, her lips pressed tight, eyes locked on the boys. But she didn't scream, didn't plead. She just stared, like someone who'd just decided this wouldn't end in silence. She grabbed her towel, stepped out, and called one person. Not 911, not her mom. Her aunt. "Tell Mom everything." That night, the story didn't break, it exploded. First Snapchat, then TikTok. But it wasn't until Emily, the quiet girl, posted the video with the caption, "She couldn't breathe." That's when the world noticed. 2.8 million views by midnight, 40,000 comments by morning, outrage, justice, hate, and confusion. People posted their own pool stories. Mothers cried. White allies posted essays. And Westbridge Hills tried to bury it. Called it horseplay. The lifeguards lied. The pool manager, Rick Dawkins, said, "Boys will be boys." But the truth, the video was crystal clear. Attempted drowning. Because of skin. Because she dared to exist where she wasn't welcome. The next day, while Troy and Blake strutted back to the pool like nothing happened, 3 black SUVs pulled up. Out stepped 2 federal agents, and a woman in navy heels and fire in her eyes. Nyla Thompson, Nyla's mother, a federal prosecutor, and someone you do not mess with. She walked straight to Rick Dawkins and dropped a yellow folder on his plastic desk. "Federal civil rights violations," she said, calm but sharp. "You'll be hearing from D.C." Rick stammered, "Wait, ma'am, this is a private, not anymore." Behind her, agents handed subpoenas to both families. That pool, once full of smug laughter, was now under federal lockdown. Empty. Silent. Yellow tape fluttered in the wind. Reporters crowded the gates, and the staff, sweating, questioned, caught. Rick tried to weasel out. "They're good boys." He told one investigator. They didn't mean any harm. But when the agent leaned in and said, "She had water in her lungs," Rick shut up. Meanwhile, Nyla sat curled on the couch, wrapped in a blanket. Her hands trembled, but her face stayed blank. Monica sat beside her. "You fought," she whispered. "Now let me fight." That night, Monica filed 2 lawsuits, one against Westbridge Hills for racial negligence, one against Troy and Blake for felony assault with hate crime enhancements. But that wasn't all. She went on Good Morning America, then MSNBC, then every podcast that would listen. "My daughter was held underwater," she said, while people laughed. She didn't hold back. She didn't ask for sympathy. She demanded accountability. The ripple effect was immediate. The school board was flooded with emails. Turns out Troy and Blake were star athletes. Not anymore. They were expelled within 48 hours. College offers gone. Scholarships dropped. Troy's dad tried to pull strings, didn't work. The judge, she looked him in the eye and said, "You should have raised a better son." At trial, the evidence was overwhelming, Emily testified. So did 2 lifeguards pressured by their conscience. One broke down, whispering, "I wanted to stop it. I was scared to lose my job." Nyla took the stand in a soft yellow dress, voice steady, eyes fierce. "I could have died," she said, and they laughed. The courtroom held its breath. Verdict: guilty. The boys were sentenced to 1-year juvenile detention and mandatory racial sensitivity rehabilitation. The pool manager fired. The club shut down permanently. 3 weeks later, a brand new Olympic-sized pool opened in the heart of the city, built from donations, funded by Outrage, dedicated to Nyla Thompson. A banner fluttered in the breeze, the Nyla Thompson Justice Pool, open to all. That day, Nyla stood by the water, her braids tied tight. A quiet smile on her face. Kids of all races splashed together, no whispers, no stares, just laughter. She wasn't a symbol, she wasn't a hero. She was a girl who'd refused to drown in silence. Later that summer, a letter arrived. "Dear Nyla, I'm a 10-year-old girl from Mississippi. I used to be afraid to go to the pool, but now I'm not. Because of you. I know I belong. Thank you, Lana." Nyla folded the letter gently, wiped her eyes, tied up her braids again, and dove in. This time, she swam free. Some said the punishment was too harsh. Some said it wasn't nearly enough. Some neighbors moved away, embarrassed. Others whispered about overreactions. But others, they watched, they learned. And maybe, just maybe, something changed. You tell me, who was right? Who was wrong? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story if you believe in justice.